The final career mode video on F1 23. Here we are, the finale of the Ferrari Road to Glory, and we are suiting up in Giallo Modena Yellow one last time for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, doing a last question mark challenge with this beautiful car one last time. Now guys, if you haven't seen the previous episode, the penultimate race at Las Vegas, check it out, link in the top right. Spoiler warning ahead in 5 seconds, so go watch it now. But we know now we've won both titles, there's nothing to fight for, hence why we're going to start from the back of the grid and have some fun. We're also going to do it in cockpit view for a change on top of everything else. Now, I want to mention, guys, I've really enjoyed this series. We've had a really good time with the Road to Glories this year, and I've actually been ahead of the curve compared to the new game and everybody else now who's going to probably do career modes, because we did it with McLaren and then Ferrari, of course, with a My Team pit stop in between. And the McLaren one kind of came true. McLaren now at the top of the sharp end in Formula 1 in real life, and hopefully you're looking like Ferrari might be turning the corner and might be improving as well. And we also had it last year where we did it with the Aston Martin F1 22, and they also came really good for F1 23 in real life. So it seems to be like, you know, whatever career mode I touch, it tends to work out in real life. Now, for this finale, you can see we have McLaren bring in more upgrades and Aston Martin follows suit. We are going to go and take a brand new power unit from top to bottom and gearbox, all the trimmings for this final race, and basically go flat out, have fun and give it everything. Also, to go with that, we are going to run through practice just to basically get some race simulations going and kind of see where the baseline of the car is and what we're expecting for race tyre wear and race fuel. So, kind of getting the car dialed in. I was running, I believe, default cockpit camera settings for this, but I then made a few tweaks for the race. But yeah, closing out our race runs, and we go second behind Lando Norris by a quarter of a second, and we close out with decent pace, car feeling pretty decent, a slight bit higher tyre wear than I expected, race fuel though pretty average, and yeah, we close out practice with a good baseline. I'm going to make a few tweaks to the car for the race, and that should hopefully set us in the right direction for the main event. But there you go, there is your final finishing order from practice, and we also picked up our final R&D points of the season. I also protected all of Ferrari's upgrades for the regulation change, so nothing would have been lost for season 2 had we continued. Either way, guys, let's get into it. It's time for one last race in the desert, Abu Dhabi time. Let's enjoy it in cockpit view in yellow. But first off, the grid rundown for the final time this season.
So here we are, ready to go racing for one final time this year. Another season of victories, controversies and rivalries lies in our wake. And just one challenge remains, here in the United Arab Emirates, on a circuit that made its spectacular debut back in 2009. Welcome to the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. The Yas Marina circuit is made up of 3.28 miles of track, featuring 16 corners with 2 very long straights. DRS zones going into the heavy braking zones of both turn 5 and turn 7 offer plenty of potential for overtaking. The circuit comes with its fair share of tricky corners, which will certainly test a driver's braking management. It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, and it's Charles Leclerc in P2. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Fernando Alonso, Oscar Piastri, Perez, Ocon, Russell, Albon, Norris, Hülkenberg, Tsunoda, Bottas, Gasly, Stroll, Sargent, Verstappen, Joe, Magnussen, Ricciardo and Martinez. And now it's time to head down to the track. And it's an absolute pleasure to be joined once more by Anthony Davidson. Let's talk about Martinez. They've had a fantastic campaign, a wonderful year, and they come into this weekend's Grand Prix as a fully deserving champion.
I agree it's been a truly impressive season, but championship or no, I don't think they'll be gently cruising around to the finish line. In fact, with points no longer a concern, there's a lot less to risk, so we may even see a more aggressive approach.
My final race on F1 23. 29 laps of Abu Dhabi, starting from last place on the grid. We have no objective, nothing to fight for, just have a bit of fun and enjoy the race. I want you guys to have a prediction down below. Where do you think we'll finish at the end of this thing? I want to know what you guys think. Either way, I'm going to try and target a podium. That's very, very ambitious. We don't even have the best car anymore, but hopefully the fresh engine helps and we can get comfortable with cockpit view and be very quick. For the strategy, we're going to start on the hard tire. That's going to be the real key element. If we can have a strong start, gain a few places on the hards and have a good first stint, that will set us up very nicely for the second half of the race on mediums, which hopefully by then most of the AI should be on hards later on as well. Fuel-wise, I've gone for 0.5 of a lap extra. That should be fine. We should be able to save in traffic as well. So pretty much we're locked in, ready to go. Guys, like the video, subscribe for the finale. Let's get into it and let's have some fun. Let's try and smash over 1,000 likes and let's see where we finish. Right, last dance, the last race on this game. Let's get to it. Optimal RPM, and away we go. Oh, Verstappen's down here, and he's had a bad start as well. We're on the outside of turn 1. Going to try and see if I can creep through on the outside. Can't even see the track limit properly, but we're going to try and go through side by side with Magnussen. Verstappen goes through. Heading into turn 5, going to try and open up the line a bit to get the exit. Back end snaps, but we do get in front of Max, who gets passed by Zhou. You see on the mirrors there, Verstappen's creeping. Alright, we've got to be careful here. Early braking. AI will be very conservative. We've got a car on our left, yellow flag. Just trying to stay out of trouble here. Exit not great, but Sargent has a pretty bad exit himself. We're going to get straight in on the inside and look to gain this position. There we go. A little bit deep, but we pull it off. That's P16. Verstappen follows through. Oh, we'll take that. That's a good start. Gaining a couple of places, which is, you know, more than I could have hoped for. Let's see now how we get along in this race. Let's bring up the MFD and start making car adjustments. We've got half a lap extra fuel. Hamilton leading the way. I want to try and keep Max behind if possible. We're on the battery quite a lot here, down to 50%, but if we can just get through the first 2 laps and keep Verstappen behind, that would be nice. AI brakes super early into there. We've got to be very careful. Not a bad exit. I was hoping to maybe challenge Magnussen, but I don't think we can. I'm trying. Still got the battery on. So try and have a look here. Force them defensive, but no way through. DRS is now enabled, so it's going to be hard to fight. I mean, Max has got so much more straight line speed, so I tried to keep him behind. He goes for the lunge on Magnussen as well. I'm going to try and set up the exit here, around the outside of Magnussen. Let's try and follow Verstappen maybe. He might be a good car to try and make some progress. Around the outside we go. Oh my god. Straight through. Verstappen hesitant. And we just clear him easily. So 15th now. We regain that place on Max. And we pass Magnussen in the process. There's a big spread in the field. Hamilton's completely gone out front. I think someone at the front of this pack's either a slow car or has slight damage. Currently trying to save a bit of battery. We burnt a lot in that initial first 2 laps. So I'm happy to just sit behind here. The pace is not too bad. We'll see when the medium runners hit the first phase. For now, we're still okay on tyres. Track limits. A little bit wide. I couldn't even see the lines or where I was on track, but I knew I was wide. I think Piastri is the culprit. I've just seen him now through the hairpin. He's at the front of this little 5-car chain, and the car's ahead of starting to get away. So Piastri probably carrying some slight damage. And they're all battling now. And there's contact. Sonoda's round. That could be a safety car.
Okay, watch the aggression, please. We don't want to lose places because of a penalty.
Now that is a curveball and a half. That really opens the race up. So what strategy do we go for in this one? We could go medium. Race restart will be lap 8. So 21 laps to go. So I kind of floated ideas and bounced around, but in the end I've settled for a medium stint. I think We're going to try to make the 2-stop work if you include the red flag as our first stop. I was wondering soft medium, medium soft, but once you hit the first phase, tyres feel really, really rough around here. So basically, medium gives us the option to basically cut a stint short if we have to for an undercut or an overcut. So we can make things work either way. I like the flexibility on strategy, and we can be aggressive with this as well. We can throw an undercut really early on, or we can go really late and have really good tyres at the end, possibly go to the soft tyre at the end if it's the right thing to do. So let's get into it. We've got a decent grid slot. Hopefully our car's fixed, we don't have wing damage, and we can get back underway.
It's good to get back on track. Let's make the best of this restart. Let's go.
Here we go, everyone's on hard, so the AI looking to maybe go hard to the end, which could be interesting. That's a very long stint. Good start though on the mediums. Straight up the inside of everyone to turn 1, it's a big old lunge. Got Russell on our outside, who we managed to clear. So if the AI go hard to the end, we're going to have to be extra aggressive here and basically carve through the pack. Ideally, we have to try and get to first because we need to get in first and try and pull away, but I don't know if we have that sort of pace. Bottas going through on Lando here. I'll just hold a bit of battery back for the exit. Albon's up in P6 in the Williams, bloody flying. We get a bit of a brake check there, just have to wait and be patient. Bottas seems to be pretty speedy on the straight, but Norris is going through. Now we're going to try and cut our way in. Slight contact, 3 wide. On the brakes though, we make it. P7. Straight through. Bottas on softs to be fair, so he'll be a threat. Lots of grip through the chicane. I don't know if we're going to be close enough though to challenge Albon. I'm going to keep the battery on to try and have a look. Oh, we're going very deep. I get the car stopped just in time, and I think we'll pull it back on the exit. Albon's still on the outside here. We'll just hold the inside line into the hotel and lock in the move. There we go. Perez, Ocon, Alonso battling for P3, allowing Leclerc to run off with Hamilton in P1, P2. Albon's going to go through here. I'm trying to not use battery, I'm very low. 3 wide up ahead. We're going to go straight back around the outside of Albon, which is what I was planning to do. Basically use the tyres. We get a second warning there, running a bit wide. I'm going to use the battery now to try and clear Alonso and Ocon, possibly. Nope, just Alonso, I think. We'll try and maybe put one on Ocon here into the hotel and surprise him. There we go, lovely move. Didn't quite get the apex, but we got through Ocon left space. Right then, let's use Perez to maybe recharge for a bit. Guys behind are battling, so they've dropped out of DRS range, so we have no threat from behind. So we can basically just go for a bit of a recharge. We've burned all the batteries here. Just going to make sure we stay within Perez's DRS. Just try and manage tyres a little bit. I think I might have gone a little bit high on tyre pressures. So whenever we have a moment on the rear, they get quite hot. Perez is running at a very good pace and pulling us along very nicely. So we're slowly catching Leclerc and Hamilton up front. Fuel is a bit of a concern. We're having to manage it a little bit. It's important that we save fuel now because we'll need it later on in the race when we try to fight back. I don't know what tyre Hamilton's on, but Leclerc's on soft. Perez looking very healthy right now on that hard tyre. His pace is strong.
I've got information on Albon for you. They've got an issue with their car. They're going to be slow.
That's unfortunate for Alex. Having a good race, but that's going to drop him back. Leclerc's right there. We've nearly caught him now. Had to use battery. We dropped out of DRS a couple of laps back, but we've managed to stick with Perez. Perez with a bit of a snap there. First signs he's struggling. We've just been given the option to pit on this lap, so we're given first preference over Leclerc, who's on soft, so we've got a chance to undercut our teammate here. We'll see if Leclerc decides to pit or not. If not, we'll box. We'll go for another set of mediums and stick to the strategy. Leclerc stays out, so in we go. We should save some fuel in the pits as well. Hamilton also stays out, so we're the only ones to pit. We'll see what compound. I have no idea what tyre Lewis is on. But mediums for us. Final pit stop of the season, hopefully. And it's a perfect 1, 2.2 on the money yet again. Right. Perez might battle with Leclerc on this lap. So basically, we've got a huge attempt to undercut and get P2 right now.
That was our last stop. No more scheduled pit stops. Let's go.
All of this outlap is going to be key. Ricardo's right there. We've got some batteries saved up, so we'll look to pass him with DRS assistance. Let's see if we can try and maybe get him on this first straight. I'm wasting no time. Of course, tyres are cold, but shouldn't mean much. There we go. Straight through. Ricardo moves a little bit. I'm going to try to see if I can get in front before the braking zone. Didn't quite get there. Ricardo didn't let me have it. I was trying to use the least amount of battery possible. Let's keep pushing. Leclerc in the pits. And he's the only car to do so, which means I think everybody else is on hard tyres going to the end. So we're going to have to get busy in this last stint. We will undercut Leclerc comfortably. Leclerc on another set of softs, so he'll be pretty quick as well. So we're both going to have to work together here to basically try and be fast in this final stint. First target, Tsunoda. Having passed Ricardo last lap, we're now got to get past his teammate. And we might have a chance here to get the struggling Albon, with car issues of course. Let's see if we can try and get Tsunoda here. Come on, get in front. Tsunoda trying to match me on the brakes, but we brake super late. And we'll get Albon here, nice and easy. Just use DRS, no need for battery on this one. We'll just take the inside, kind of force him up high. And get the inside line for 11. Right, that's P9. Magnussen next. 22.9. We'll see what Leclerc does on softs. We'll use some battery here to try and close in on Magnussen. I want to try and get him on that second straight. So we'll use down to 20%. Hopefully we'll get this chicane sorted. Missed the downshift there, not ideal, but we're close enough to challenge. Decent exit. Again, try and get the inside line if possible, so we don't have to use battery that way. And there we go. We edge past Magnussen, not letting me open up the line there. He wanted me to stay tight, but we go through regardless. And then we've got a multi-car battle here. 3 cars having a scrap for P5. Back-to-back purples. Russell, Norris, Piastri. I've used all the battery to try and close up to these guys, so I don't really have a lot in the chamber. So I can't quite challenge. Piastri though seems to be struggling. Gonna go wide. Around the outside. Gonna follow Russell in. Might even get Russell here on the brakes possibly. Yep. 2 for 1. Lovely. And that puts us onto Norris now for P5. So we'll not overtake Norris just yet. I'm going to just sit in the DRS and use this to basically save battery, and we'll try to get him on the next one. We have to get him on the next one though, because we can't afford to give away any DRS opportunities. Next stop is going to be Ocon. I'm going to pull out and then kind of tuck back in. We'll get the inside, which is where we want to be. I'm going to try and push Lando high, unlike Magnussen. And that gives us P5. Ocon, a couple of seconds up the road, using all the battery here. Trying to get in DRS range. Let's see if we got it. Yes, we did. And now this is going to set us up nicely for the next one, hopefully. If I can get close enough. This would be very efficient if we pull it off. On the brakes nicely there, no miss downshift. Clean exit. Out, and then again tuck in.
Okay, that's us with 5 laps of fuel remaining. 5 laps of fuel left.
Force him high. And there we go, just like a mirror. Same sequence as the last few laps, running it back. So P4, 5 laps to go. Alonso 4.6 up the road. I reckon if we can get a podium, that would be fantastic. That was the target I set myself at the start of this race. Let's see if we can try and hone in on that. Going to sit on the battery and try and charge up for the end. That seemed really close to track limits there. We've just entered the first phase on the rears. Gap to Alonso 2.5. Fuel is also starting to run down again. I think we should be okay on fuel, just. We're now within DRS of Alonso. I don't think we'll catch Checo. I think he's just a bit too far away, but we can try. But one objective at a time. Alonso's first up. Right, let's see if we can execute. Tyres now not as fresh as they once were, but these guys must be really struggling on their rubber now. Good braking. Good change of direction. Good exit. I'm going to wait to get on the inside. There we go. Again, same move yet again. Trying to get in front before the braking zone, and we just about get it. Alonso tries to re-challenge, but no way through. Just using the battery to keep Alonso out of DRS range, who I think has actually managed to nick some DRS, but we'll use all that battery to keep him at bay. And bring home P3, which is what I wanted at the start of the race as an objective. Hamilton has completely crushed everyone in this race. Either way, congrats to Lewis for the win. Perez will finish in a really good second place, and we're going to manage, with 2 track limit warnings, to hold on, and we're going to recover to third. A bit of a different strategy and a red flag, of course, but we'll take it. Great result and a great way to end the series and the season.
That's it then, they've taken the win here as we wrap up another fantastic Formula One season. And talk to me, what do you think it was that sealed the win for them?
I feel like consistency was probably the key today. There's being quick, and then there's being quick lap after lap after lap. If you can do that, you can capitalise on other people's errors without making many of your own. And that's an approach that can push you a long way up the field.
After an excellent performance at the Grand Prix, I'm sure there'll be plenty of celebrations tonight amongst the Mercedes team, and they certainly deserve it.
And there we have it, guys. F1 23 officially in the record books. I enjoyed the game overall. I thought it was a decent game. I enjoyed the way it handled. I enjoyed the league racing, the career mode, and I've enjoyed this career mode, the Ferrari Road to Glory. We finished P3 from last and with a fastest lap of the race. Leclerc 8th in the end on the recovery, also on the same strategy as us. Hamilton completes pretty much the Grand Slam, not the Grand Chelem, but you know, he does get pole, win, and would have had fastest lap had it not been for me and obviously Leclerc going on a bit of a different strategy. So yeah, there is your final running order. The big one really to note in this one, there's no Max Verstappen, and he is down in 18th place. Wow, bad race for Max. Bad day at the office for him in the final race, to be fair. But yeah, there's your final running order. As for the standings for the final time, we finish 99 points ahead of Lewis, who finishes P2 in the end. Russell third, so Mercedes ending very, very strongly. Leclerc finishes P7. In the Constructors, of course, we won it. Mercedes P2, and they had a very strong second half of the season. Just kind of ran out of races really to turn it around. Either way, guys, that is it for the series. Like the video, subscribe. Hopefully you enjoyed it. F1 24 coming very, very soon. Possibly even as soon as tomorrow. Who knows? Cheers for watching, guys. Take care. As always, a big shout out to the members. Check out the 2 videos on screen if you haven't seen them already, along with the links down below, guys, to my channel sponsors. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care, and it's goodbye from me.